All right, folks, it's that time of year. It is November. We have finally started getting some cool temperatures. So let's do a little quick walk through here, the tree nursery, and just go over some of the what grew this year and just check out some of the fall colors on some of these spectacular trees I have here. Now, the first one up, now this is a birch tree. I actually dug it out of the sidewalk because you can see where it's kind of growing, but eventually I'd like to make this into possibly a bonsai tree because it does have this nice flowing trunk line on it like that. But yes, whenever the leaves are off, that's whenever you can really start to get the character of your trees and your plants. You can see that? Pretty awesome. Now, just some of these other plants. This is a Szechuan peppercorn. Has some pretty nice little spikes on it there, if you see that. But yeah, so that is actually where you grow the spice. The Szechuan peppercorn is actually grown a small shrub native to China, if you didn't know that. My hydrangea cuttings starting to lose their color. Did quite well. These are my favorite colors. I'll show you these in the spring when they do bloom, the mother plant at least. But I mean, you can just tell. I mean, look how much this rose of Sharon. Now, this was just a small little stick about this tall, and it was growing as a volunteer in the flower bed from the neighbor's bush that, the seeds fall over the fence line. And in one season, it grew all of this. Now, that is quite a bit of growth for one season. It's a little better shot of it there, guys. It's well over 12. It's maybe 15 to 18 inches tall, maybe. Moving on here, we have some hawthorns. Now, these are eventually going to be part of a shrubby hedge. How I'm going to plant it. But yeah, hawthorns, guys. Now, they do make an edible berry, I found out. So I'm definitely going to try to, try one of those whenever it does eventually. But they're also very good for wildlife, things like that. Birds absolutely love them. So hopefully there's enough to go around. Now, I have a lot of dogwoods, as it turns out. And one thing about dogwoods is they have a fantastic fall coloration. Now, this one here, I don't believe is a dogwood. I actually forget what this one is. I need to look that one back up. But yeah, but if you look at the dogwoods like I was mentioning just a second ago, check out this deep purple coloration these leaves get. They are absolutely fantastic. So always think when you grow your plants and your trees, always think about what the fall might be. Maybe, a lot of sugar maples, things like that have these amazing like orangish yellow, bright colored leaves in the fall. So think about the 4 seasons. When you talk about planting things, there's another dogwood right here. Think about the fall, what color the leaves are going to change. You get that added benefit. This is just a sycamore volunteer. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't really think they make good bonsai specimens, although it'd be kind of cool because if you know anything about the sycamore trees, they're in the winter, their bark kind of peels off, revealing this like nice white coloration on the trunks, which is pretty cool. But I digress. But again, this other sycamore volunteered in this pot with some hellebores I was growing down there. So I'm going to separate this out sometime in the spring once everything's dormant, separate those flowers out for the very least. But what I want to talk to you about here are three types, but there's 4 trees, but 3 types of trees that are probably one of my favorites in the world. Now this, if you don't know, this is just the regular iconic coast redwood tree. You find these in California. I did not grow this one from seed. This was actually purchased as a small little starter plant from California. And I will have to bring it in when it gets super cold because they are not cold tolerant. So I've done that before and I lost some trees. So I've learned my lesson. I'll be bringing this one in just for the coldest nights and coldest times of the winter. And they'll be bringing it back out early as in the spring as possible. Now this one here, you guys may have seen videos on this in the past. This is my Dawn redwood that I grew from seed. This is year 3 for it. Look at this beautiful reddish colored trunk on it. Fantastic. And one thing about the Dawn redwood is that's actually deciduous. Okay, unlike the coast redwood, which would be an evergreen, these leaves will change colors and will drop. It's fantastic. It's one of those things that just evolved over years and years and years as a survival mechanism, from what I gathered, because of low light. They were high latitudes, I think, and there was not much light in the winter time, so they became deciduous to not try to keep the leaves growing all winter long with low light levels. That's what I read. It might be true. It sounds like it possibly could be true, but nevertheless, this was grown from seed. And you can see right here, guys, a lot of these branches, we had a horrible drought this year. It was super hot. I watered this thing all the time, but at some point in the summer, it got burned up. But, you know, it's coming back. The top growth here is healthy. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully it comes back. I'll wait till the spring, see what does not grow, and then we'll go from there. Maybe do some pruning on it. You can kind of tell, like this wood right here, it's kind of pliable, but this might be dead. May not be, but at least back to here, still has a viable bud on it. So at the worst case, kind of, you know, cut it back to here, and then maybe it'll branch out little side shoots or something. But another very, very interesting plant you guys have seen probably growing these pictures of really far down south. Now this is actually a bald cypress, and just like the cousin, the Dawn Redwood, its leaves will change colors, a nice fall color, and they will drop. Okay, that's why it's called a bald cypress, because it's bald, there's no leaves. Okay, so it's a deciduous plant as well. But yeah, check it out. So these plants actually do grow as far north as Illinois, Kentucky, southern Indiana, in marshy wetlands areas. So yes, they do get the iconic knees and things like that down Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, places like that, like we've all seen. But yes, bald cypress will grow, and they grow actually downtown. There's a park that's 10 miles from my house. They have a row of bald cypress. Okay, now granted, it is like in a sort of a ditch line, so when it does flood or rain a lot, it does kind of hold water, so they're perfect plants for that. But they do not stay wet all year long. It's a very dries out, and they'll do fine. Okay, they don't have to be growing directly into a swamp just be to actually grow. So a lot of people may not realize that. But what am I going to do with these? All these trees? I'm not really sure yet. I have considered actually getting my nursery license and kind of spreading out and getting into more of the tree culture, things like that, because I do find it to be pretty interesting. So maybe next year, Dave's Hillside Gardens LLC. Do check that out on Facebook. Leave a link for that right there, my business page. But yeah, for right now, it's just mostly doing houseplants and vegetable starts, things like that. Really small springtime hobby, kind of turned into a small side gig, right? But in order to sell actually trees or shrubs, you have to get a nursery license, you have to get inspections, all kinds of stuff like that. So not really sure if it's really worth all the hassle, but there you go. It's a little wrap up of the growing season. It won't be too long before we start getting some snow and some heavy frost, things like that. And anything that is green here with leaves will eventually, you know, become fully dormant. But again, in the spring, when they wake up, we'll have some more videos about that growing. But stay tuned for all winter long. There'll be tons of videos about houseplant care and what to do in the winter to get ready for the spring season, things you can do to keep yourself productive and moving forward in your gardening and maybe your landscaping or nursery hobby. So hopefully this was just a little quick video, guys, show you a little bit of the changes of the fall here at the Hillside, show you some of my trees, and possibly next year I might even attempt to start making some bonsai videos. I have no idea how to do it, but I've always wanted to, so we can learn together. How about that? We'll make some mistakes along the way and have some fun. Until then, guys, have fun, stay safe, and get growing. Bye-bye.